Do you think that the COVID shot killed your dad?
I definitely think it was involved, and I don't even think saying that is controversial anymore. Like with the amount of data that's come out, like even if Dad had underlying health issues, I think this brought it straight to the surface.
In a controversial revelation that's reigniting debate about the circumstances surrounding Shane Warne's sudden death, the cricket legend's son Jackson has broken his silence with explosive claims. The 26-year-old believes COVID vaccinations played a role in his father's death at just 52 years of age.
And so even the last 3-4 years when it's come up in conversations, like I have not changed my tune. Obviously, at the end of the day, we'll never ever know. The autopsy's there and people can go online and look at it, and I know what's happened to him. But Dad, at the time, he was healthy, he was happy, he actually looked the best he'd looked in a while. Yes, he smoked and he drank, but how many more people in the 80s and 90s still smoke and drink? A lot more than Dad. Yes, a lot of people were dying of heart attacks before, but I know, and this is how I feel, it might not be true, but Dad was okay.
Shane Warne died on the Thai island of Koh Samui in 2022 from a heart attack, with a post-mortem officially confirming the cricket icon had died of natural causes. But now, speaking on the Two Worlds Collide podcast, Jackson Warne is questioning that conclusion. When asked about the potential role of COVID vaccinations, Jackson didn't hold back.
I try not to think about it too much because all that does is just fester into more anger, and that anger isn't good for anybody. What we're trying to do now with the Shane Warne legacy is actually spread as much awareness for heart health as possible, because our mission is, I don't want people to get the same phone call we got. And I think a lot of people have realised now that there is nothing we can do for the people that have got vaccinated. The only alternative is actually to become the healthiest version of ourselves. And if something comes out like this again, at least we're more awake. At least we're more aware.
Jackson went further, suggesting that even if his father had underlying health issues, the vaccine may have accelerated their impact.
Even if it didn't directly if Dad had underlying health issues, maybe he was going to have a heart attack at 65, 70. I think all this just brought it to the surface.
The young Warne also revealed he felt silenced at the time of his father's death. He says he felt deeply uncomfortable at the state memorial held at the MCG, wanting to speak out but feeling unable to do so.
That's one thing I've always struggled with, because my first impression, as soon as I hung up the phone, I instantly blamed the government. I instantly blamed COVID and the vaccine, and doing things like the state memorial where that's funded by VicGov and it's at the MCG, and there has to be certain due diligence and people's in the crowds have to get photos and do all that stuff. I felt really uncomfortable. And at the state memorial, I nearly actually said, I blame the government, I blame COVID, but I didn't. And it's probably smart I didn't. I would probably be in a very different position if I did.
What we know is this. The former leg spin champion complained of chest pains before being found dead in his $4,000 a night villa. Warne had contracted COVID in 2021. Medical reports from Thai paramedics who transported Warne's body revealed the presence of 3 drugs in his bedroom. Sildenafil, commonly known as Viagra, Camagra, an alternative form of the medication, and duloxetine, used to treat premature ejaculation. It remains unclear whether Warne took these medications before his death. However, such drugs carry serious warnings for patients with heart conditions. The Victorian sporting hero had been managing heart issues for years and suffered from congenital heart weakness. He'd reportedly been experiencing chest pains and asthma symptoms before arriving at Koh Samui for what was meant to be a holiday with mates. Now, with Jackson Warne speaking out, questions are being raised once again about what really happened on that tragic day in Thailand.
I think he might have got 3 or 4. I know he didn't want to get them. He was forced to get them for work.
He got boosters?
Yeah, I think. And he was forced to get them like everybody else. Like, Dad wasn't the only person. I know when Dad passed, he was probably the most famous Australian that people could go, yep, that's COVID.
Outstanding off the field, outstanding on the pitch. We will raise a glass to you and say congratulations, you guys were awesome, and you rock. Well done.